Hello everyone, and welcome in Plus Your SOFTECH Business. We provide Alfresco training, consulting, and maintenance of the Alfresco ECM. In this tutorial, today I will share with you the lesson number 3 in our second module in Alfresco End User section. This lesson will cover a topic called Folders and Files Permissions. We will see how we can change the permission on folders and files. Folders and files permissions. You can manage and override the default site permissions for any content you add to the document library. This lets you control what site members can see and do with your content depends on their roles. As we've seen before, roles can be manager, collaborator, contributor, or consumer. Steps to manage those permissions as below. Hover over a file or folder in the library and click More, then click on Manage Permissions. Secondly, manage the inheritance permissions. Search for the user you want to define permissions for. Click Search or press Enter. Click Add to place a user in the locally set permissions table. Change the rule as needed. Repeat this step to add more users and set their permissions for the same content. Click Save. Before to go to see more about content permissions, let's practice what we learned or what I show you in these steps. So let's follow me. So our objective today is to set or override manage permissions for each folder and files. I will give you an example. As I shown you, in the steps first we need to choose which site we want to override folders or file. So I will choose this site, New Alfresco Training, as always. So I will click on this site and I will go directly on Document Library. I click. When I click on Document Library, so I can see the folders that I created in this area. So I will choose, for example, this folder, folder number 1, that I want to override its permissions. I will go on the right of this folder and I will click on More. After, I will click on Manage Permissions here. So I will delete this one. Click Save, just for letting you to understand well. So as I told you, I come here on the right of the folder and I click More. And after Permissions, okay, and I will add the user that I want to change a permission. User Ryan. I will explain you. I already create this user called Ryan. Okay, I created and I set the rule for this user as a consumer. Okay, because we've seen a lot of examples about manager. I create already a user as a manager. Okay, so this time I want to create user and as a consumer. So I will add this user as a consumer. I will search. Yes, I find it because I already created. In administrator, of course, I quantify administrator. I add a site contributor. No, I want it to be a consumer. So I will come here. Okay, I will come in this locally set permissions as I set it in my steps in my PPT. So I will come here, and Ryan is already a user as a permission. Okay, that has a rule as a permission as a consumer. Sorry. So it's telling to me, do you want to change the rule of Ryan? For example, you want it to manager, contributor, collaborator. I will say no. I will keep it first as a consumer, and after that I will show you. I will change the role of this user, and we will see what is the difference, how this role can be how this rule can change our content, access to our content. Okay, because each rule has different access on the content. Okay, don't worry about that, we will see it. Okay, step by step. Just I want it to be first a consumer. I will click on consumer. I need to tell you something else. When you will assign your new user as a manager, for example. So here, when you want to manage the permissions, you can't change the role here as a consumer or contributor or collaborator, because your user is already as manager. There is some law in Alfresco. Is impossible to change a user who is already manager, and you want it to be as lower degree, means from higher degree you go to the lower degree. It's impossible. A manager, when you want to change a manager, you can't change it as a consumer, collaborator, contributor. No, only from lower degree you can go or move to higher degree. Means your user consumer, you can change it as a contributor or collaborator or manager. Okay, so for this reason I choose to create my new user and as a consumer. Okay, so good. If you understood this thing, we can move to another thing. Okay, so a consumer, a site as a consumer, and I click on save. I clicked on save. So this folder, yeah, I didn't spoke about inheritance or inheritance. I add or I manage. Let's see. I wanted to set the permission. I set the permission on this folder one. I will return fastly to explain you something else. It's important too. Here, inherit permissions. So inherit permissions, here it's active. Okay, means what? If I will click on it, it's telling to us, are you sure? Do you want to inherit permissions? I will say yes. Only local permissions will apply on this document and folder. If you say turn off permission inheritance, if you don't, and now it's active, means this inheritance of permission will be to the folder and sub to the files as well. Okay, from the parent to the child folders and all the files inside inside that folder, the permission will be set to them also on them, okay? But if you will turn off the permissions inheritance, means only the folder will get this this permission. But when you click inside the folder, you will see that all files is not they don't have this permission, okay? They didn't inherit this permission. So better to let it always on. You don't turn off this permission, okay? I click on no, and I will return. So the name of our user is Ryan, okay? So how we can see now if our permission is set on our folder? We can't be sure, or we can't verify this thing on the administrator accounts. We need to go and we need to log out here and to open another Alfresco account, name it Ryan. Means I will open the account of Ryan. I set a username as Ryan and password as Ryan too. And I will log in. Okay. So let's see what happens when I set that permission. Okay. So I will go in my home. My site. User site list. There is some issue. Ryan is not added to that site. So I need to add first Ryan. Okay, my site. I didn't. I just create Ryan, user Ryan, but I didn't add it to the site new Alfresco training. It's very important to add it, because when you will add it, I explained it before. When you will add it to that site, mean you will have access to see all what happened in that site. If the administrator create any folder, any files, upload any folders, any file, means you will be a member site of that site. Okay, so I need to add it in that site. New Alfresco training. I will click. Add user. I will click in this dashlet. We've seen this before, okay? But just I will do it fastly. Okay. Ryan. Search, yeah. Select a role, a consumer, add user. It's done now. I will disconnect from here, log out. And I will connect with Ryan account. You see? Now Ryan is added to this site. I will click on it. I will go to document library. Wow, it's working. Can you see? Can you notice? Can you notice something different as before? You see, this menu is not appearing. You see, I can't click on create, I can't click on upload, and I can't click on select item. And when I want to hover over this folder, so on the right, you see, I can see only these three options. Where is more button? The more button disappeared. Because why? You see, I can see only view details. I can only view details, view this folder details. That's it. Because why? Let's explain you why. Because this user, Ryan user, is assigned as a consumer. So I assign it first, I create this user Ryan. Second, I add this Ryan user to the site's new Alfresco training site. After that, when I add it to this site, I give him the role as a consumer. Good. After that, I went to this folder, folder 1, and I click on more. I clicked on more, and after that, I clicked on manage permissions. And when I want to manage a permissions, I set this permission as a consumer. Means I want this folder to have a consumer permission, means I can only view this folder. That's it. I can't create, when I want to click to create something or to upload something, it will be impossible for me because my user is a consumer. Got it now? Good. If we got it, then it's very good. Let's click on folder. Good. I am inside the folder 1. What's happened? The same for all the files inside the folder 1. I can't create any folder, any files else, or upload any file else. Why it's possible? How it's possible? Because see, it's same for file as well. I can only view, I can delete a folder. I can't edit a folder or delete, I can't edit a file. There is no option for editing file. There is no option to edit file or delete a file. You see, for all. Because I clicked on that button, inheritance permission, that I told you before. My inheritance permission was active, means all the sub files inside that folder will inherit same permission. So is it fine for you now? I think that it's fine. And I think that I explained all what should I explain to you about how to manage the permissions on folders and files. Good. So now let's move. Now we can understand very well and it will be very easy for us to read this table about permission. Let's see. Okay. Content permissions on folders. See what you can see. There is a consumer, contributor, collaborator, and manager. Create folder. Who can create a folder? A contributor can create a folder. A consumer cannot create, only view the content of the folder, as we've seen just now. A collaborator can do, manager can do. So I can't tell you, or I can't read all the options in that table. So you take all your time and read. You should read well this table, and you should to practice one thing. I gave you an example on consumer. Then try it with a contributor or try it with a collaborator. Okay. And if you want to try it with manager, okay, but as we know that manager have full access, so you can do whatever you want on the content. Okay, so let's move now to next table on files. So create a content consumer can only view, but contributor, collaborator, manager can create. Download the content. We've seen, if you remember, that a download option exists. Even we use a consumer user, but still exists. We can download our content or our file. See, consumer can do that, contributor, collaborator, and manager. And extra, you will read all this, okay? For example, edit online. Who can edit online? Only contributor and a collaborator and manager. Consumer, as we know, he can't. Okay. So what about as well? Edit offline. Only this first person consumer can't, and contributor he can't. Only collaborator and manager. And it's extra but other. Okay. Okay, so you can move. Okay, so we already seen the demo. So I will tell you thank you for watching and thank you for following me step by step and slowly, because this lesson is very important, and you will use it in different and in many cases of your work. So thank you for watching, and for more lessons, please visit plusyoursoftech.com. The URL is given below in the description. Thank you and see you.